live.
Oh, well, it's live anyway, so if we need to look back at stuff.
Okay.
But there is like a discussion board, so I think we're supposed to post it.
This one I don't think we have to. I think the next one we have to post.
What are we even doing in the next one? That's what I'm curious about.
I don't know.
Find out at 2 o'clock today when it opens. All right. So in the review, I'm sure we all have questions at points. Does everyone agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just go through the whole thing before we actually take the quiz and figure it out together. Does that sound good? Okay, starting with question number 2. Let's do Nicole, Marianne, Maddie, and me.
Stand up right now.
I'm actually gonna grab all my notes.
Can't find it.
Sorry.
Oh, you're right. There isn't a discussion board.
Okay. So what review are we talking about? I did this a long time ago.
Exam 4.
The lesson 24.
Okay, gotcha. Just the homework. Well,
There actually isn't a discussion board for next week either. I'm just looking at that.
it does say we have a meeting. Yeah.
All right, is everyone there? We still looking?
You guys can go ahead. I am not sure what I'm looking for, actually.
It's like the title. I don't know how you like organize your review or answer the questions, but the title on the actual like, if you go into the lessons, it'll be lesson 24, review for exam 4.
Yeah, it's not a file that they gave us. We have to just answer them ourselves.
I just like make it into a text edit. I like copy the web address, make it a document, then I make it a text edit.
The actual textbook?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Okay, I am there. I do not have a question for 2.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
You glitched on my end for just a second there. What'd you say?
Oh, I don't have a question for number 2 at all.
I think we're just gonna.
Oh,
maybe,
you want me to read it?
Well, we could if no one has a question on it, but we could still, see if we all put the right answer in case we find out, we're not on the same page or something.
Which of the following variables is our quantitative? Mark all that apply.
So I did A and C.
I did just A.
C isn't, but A is.
Okay. I was wondering about C. I get confused with the telephone number one.
Basically, if it's something you can measure, then it's quantitative.
Okay. All right, Marianne?
Okay. For number 3, do you want me to read it or just tell you what I put?
Just put the answer. If we all got the right answer, we won't worry about it.
I chose C.
Yeah, me too.
Really? There's some issues today. I chose A.
Let's see.
I thought it was an experiment because they did have control over which sampling method they used.
I think control has to do with, like, are you treating somebody, like giving something
Yeah. Are you changing the
That's
outcome?
I struggled with the basics for some reason on this.
So I have a lot that I struggled with, so we'll help each other.
Yeah. Okay, great. Let's go to Maddie for 4.
Okay. Let's see. Did I write this one down? No. I put, where are we? Will increase.
What'd you say?
I put A. The median will increase.
Okay.
Me too. Great. Okay, for 5, let's see, I don't remember this one, but let's see my answer. This one I was confused on. I don't know. Is anyone else confused on this one?
I don't remember how to do this at all.
I think it was the, I wrote in my notes like a little, like there's the middle thing, and then 68 is the 2 first deviations.
Charles?
Yeah.
And then-
I thought it was just 95 because 50 is 10 deviations away.
Yeah.
But then I also wanted to check it by hand, and I don't know if that was a bad thing, like being over smart or something.
Mhm.
But I got like 97.7 when I did it by hand. But I'm hoping it's just 95.
Well, I just put 95, but I wasn't sure about that one either.
Like I
But it
found the
says-
z-score. I did the equation for the z-score, got -2. Which is what 95 would be, 2 standard deviations exactly. But when I plugged it into the applet and shaded like the bottom 2, it said that the area was 97.7, which I thought was weird. But
But it says to round to 1 decimal place.
Yeah, that was what threw me off.
yeah, that's why 97.7 kind of made sense. But I was like, I don't know, it could just be 95.0.
Yeah.
And like I thought when you put it into the applet, it was if it's a -2 because that's supposed to line up with 95, that it should say 95, right? But it comes up with 97.72. So I was really confused about that.
I bet you it's 97.72. Well, I have no idea. I don't remember how to.
Because they said to use the 68, 95, 99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think on the practice, like when we actually take the group quiz, we should put 95.0 as our first time. And then if that doesn't work, try 97.7.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the 2. I think it's more likely going to be 95. Okay. Back to Nicole for 6.
So I could not remember how to do this.
Okay, let's read it then.
So find the 35th percentile of the LSAT scores. Give your answer accurate to 1 decimal place. Use the applet. And it's not the info.
Okay, I got 146.8 on this one, rounded. What did you guys get?
Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's what I got too. I just didn't realize we were supposed to round 1.
Yeah, I put, like what I did, Nicole, is I plugged 0.35 into the applet for the area. And then I took the z-score that I found, which I got -0.385. And then I plugged it into I wrote it in my notes. That's the only way I could find it, like in my exam notes. But there's an equation, a z-score equals x minus the mean divided by the deviation. Plugged it into that, switched all the equation around until I had x on one side. And that's how I ended up getting the answer. It's kind of a complicated one.
Okay. I just can't, there's so much that we went over this whole semester.
I
Now
know.
we all of it.
Yeah.
So
I wrote down how I did it if you wanted to I could screenshot it and send it to you or something. My process.
So you solved for X on the z-score,
Mhm.
but do we know the? Oh yeah, standard deviations right there.
Mm-hmm.
So don't you need the z-score to find out
Yeah,
X?
because for that equation, z-score equals x minus the mean divided by the deviation. You're missing the z-score, so that's why you find it by plugging the 35 percentile into the area.
And then shading the lower left.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can get the same answer. I just lower left. Mm.
And this time I was like, I'm going to write down exactly how I did everything because I'm going to forget when I get to the group meeting. Like, I got this answer. I don't know how.
Yeah, so I got the z-score of negative 0.385. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay. Okay, then I'm sure the rest will work out easy.
Yeah. So if you switch it all around, you should get 146.773, but then you round it to 1 decimal.
Okay, that's easy enough.
All right. So are we going to move on, or do you need a minute? Did you want to finish it right now?
No, I'm okay. We can move on.
okay. Number 7, I chose skewed right, A.
I did too. I didn't feel super confident, but I did that.
Yeah. They gave us a lot of information for just that one question, so it was kind of like,
I hate those. Second guess.
yeah.
But the sample is 70, so wouldn't it be no? Oh,
Oh,
no,
then it
okay,
says
just kidding.
that,
Yeah. Tricks you.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, okay. That's definitely right skewed then.
Okay, 8 for Maddie.
Okay, so this one I didn't know how to do because I mean, I could do 9, but I don't remember 8.
I think I figured this one out. Does anyone else think they figured this one out?
I think I did. But
So I just did the typical z-score equation that we do, like the value minus the mean divided by the deviation divided by the new square root of the sample size.
that's what I did too.
Yeah. Let me try to show it. This is my like really crammed notes, but that equation.
Hold on. Let me get back to that screen.
Focus. Okay. Yeah, you can't really read that.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. If I see it visually, then just saying it out loud, I don't know. I thought it maybe would help.
Visually helps, it does.
Yeah. If someone's just like, this divided by that, divided by the square root of this, I'm like, that's all gibberish.
Yeah.
Anyways, my answer, so I did like 8544 minus 8550 divided by 12 divided by the square root of 20, which the 12 divided by the square root of 20 is all under one line.
Okay, because the whole thing with, I was trying to plug it in with the z-score, but then I was trying to figure out what n equals 20 has to do with anything, but that makes more sense with
Yeah.
needing the square root of n.
It's basically the z-score equation, which you add the square root of the sample size.
I had it switched around though with 8550 minus 8544.
I have it that it's value minus mean, and 8550 was the mean, so I thought that was the second one.
Yeah, you do the observation first and then the mean.
Oh, is that the observation?
Yeah, the
Okay.
observation is the
8544.
8544.
Yeah. Yeah, find the square corresponding to
Wait.
the sample mean capacity for 20 tanks of 8544.
Okay. I did have a headache when I did this.
Yeah. So then I ended up getting negative 2.236. So if you guys want to do that math too, and we can make sure we all did it right.
Okay, well, I got the same answer, just in positive form.
Oh, there you go.
That's interesting, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's negative 2.236.
Mhm.
We ready for 9?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So this one is off the same problem, but instead it wants us to test for 8540 as the value, minus 8550. So I did the exact same thing we just did in the other question. But it wants the probability, so we're going to take it farther and put it like into the applet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got, for a z-score, I got negative 5.893. Did anyone else get that?
Well, since my equation was wrong, I better redo this one.
Okay.
For the z-score on this one, oh, I didn't do the square root of 50. So I got the z-score.
Because I do have some weird answers here, so I want to check with you guys because I was a little lost. Because like negative 5.893 is a huge z-score. It's massive,
Yeah.
but I tried it over and over again.
Yeah, I got negative 5.893.
Yeah, that's exactly what I got. I mean, I think that's right up to that point. I just think it's a large z-score, and maybe that could still be what they're wanting us to find.
Mm-hmm.
But it just makes it hard for applet percentages.
For the z-score, I got negative 2.36.
Okay, how did you, let's see.
That's what I got before, but when you told me that I used the wrong, I had my numbers switched.
Mm-hmm. It's always value minus mean.
Okay, wait.
So the mean would be,
I have the z-score written down as 8540 minus 8544.
That's what I had done.
Minus 8550, isn't it? Or is it supposed to be compared to the other one?
I thought 8544 was the one that is the constant and the.
Yeah. So in
I
9.
thought that was the value they had for the last one, and then they changed it to in this one to be 8540 instead of 8544.
Yeah, so you take the observation, which is 8540, and subtract it from 8544. No. You subtract 8544
So
from.
8540 is subtract 8544.
Yeah, because you take the new number and subtract it from the original. No, I'm saying that wrong.
Well,
but
usually
you know
it
what I
should
mean.
be the population mean, I thought, which was 8550. That's what they're supposed to be at, their weights of the tanks.
So they changed that.
That was a claim. You see that's why it says a factory that manufactures tank trucks claims that their trucks have 8550, but the actual capacity is 8544.
Okay, so now it's going to be -4 instead of -10 for the top.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
So does that mean that number 8 is actually positive 2.236?
1 sec.
I don't think so, because I think with number 8 we're still using 8550. Number 9 is where it changes.
I got -2.357.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
So if we plug that in, and we're highlighting everything on the left, right?
yeah.
It's greater than. Well, it's greater than. So
What's
when
greater
you
than
highlight the middle and the right.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So I got 0.6499.
-2.357 was the z-score, right? I got 0.99.
Oh, I didn't change the z-score yet.
Which is really close to the answer I had. I said 99.9 because it just said like 0, 0, 0, like all these crazy numbers.
Yeah.
For one method, and then that
So
0.99999.
I got 0.9908.
I got 0.9908.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I thought you had another 0.
9908. Yeah, that's what I got.
It'll be 080 when we round it.
What? 0.991.
991.
No, it's rounded to the 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be 3.
Huh?
The 8 rounds the 0 up to a 1.
what I got 99. Oh. Okay, I thought since it was a percent, we did like the 99 before and said 99 point something, but that's how I wrote it. I get it. Okay, who did that one? I think that was me, actually.
Yeah.
Go back to Nicole.
Which one of the following best describes the notion of the significance level of a hypothesis test? Type 2.
I had to go back and look at the chapter when I did this one. I chose A, type 1.
Yeah, I knew
Oh,
it was between
yeah.
A and B, but I couldn't decide.
Let's
It
see.
like psychs out my mind when I try to figure out that stuff. It's all English. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, my head wants to explode every time I have to try and figure out the wording of this. So type 1 error is from level of significance.
Okay,
That's A.
now back to Marianne for 11.
Okay. For 11, let's see. There may be more than one answer. I chose B and C.
Oh, I never caught that it said there might be more than one. Yeah, I put B. Now I gotta see if there's a second one. That you think C?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think C too.
Yeah. Okay, is it my turn?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Let's see.
Around 12.
Okay. This one I did not actually do. Okay. I'm gonna say it's not because the sample distribution isn't big enough.
But
That,
I was
sorry.
say, isn't the rule for that one is
Oh, it does follow normal
it
distribution.
has to be the
Okay.
population is normal or n is large. So even though n isn't large, the population
Okay, so it's A then.
is normal.
Yeah, that's what I chose as well for the same reasons.
High five. Oh, my turn again. Okay. Hey guys, we're cruising. Faster than last time.
I think that you could get other things in the dishwasher bin.
If it's closed, no.
It's partly closed now.
No, it's not too. Sorry.
Okay, I'm just catching up on my answer here. So for this one, where's the question? I can't find the question. 13. What is the p-value for this test? Got it. For this one, I did a sample t-test with sigma unknown.
That's what
And
I did.
I got a p-value of 0.039.
That's what I got as well.
Is that what you guys all got too?
I'm going to be 100% honest.
Huh?
I didn't get this far. I'm trying to
Okay,
get this done, and I
that's all right. You can just follow along and hopefully it'll help you to finish through.
it's been a rough night.
The reason why I did a sample t-test, I remember I thought it was an independent test at first, but then I figured out that the S&P Standard & Poor isn't really like their own sample. That was like a population sample, I guess. So they only picked their own sample. That was something that confused me with this one, but I figured it out.
Yeah.
Oh, what did you get?
All right. 14 is Nicole's question. Did you want to just skip out of giving your answers?
If that's okay, I don't want to like.
I think it makes sense. So you can
Okay.
try to learn as we talk about it. Don't be afraid to ask us how we figured stuff out too. So Marianne.
Okay, so on 14, I got, this is one I wasn't sure about, but I chose, let's see, what was the question, just to make sure. I chose dependent, no wait, yeah. D, dependent sampling, but again, I wasn't sure.
I was pretty sure.
Let's see.
Because they are dependent in some way, but I wasn't sure if it was C or D, but I think it was D because
We've had ones like this before, and it has been.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't think it's C because his income doesn't change based on what his wife makes. They just
yeah,
sharing
that's
incomes.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Maddie, 15.
So this is where I ended up stopping too.
Okay.
Yay, babies.
Yeah, seriously. It's been a struggle trying to get it back.
It was hard to get through this too, even without a baby. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
good job for making it as far as you did. So did you do this one or no?
No, I
Oh,
didn't.
gotcha. Okay. So I wrote out all my thoughts as I went. Let's see. I did a paired t-test. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I said I believe we use a paired t-test or dependent sample t-test. I guess I wasn't sure. Or that's the same thing, huh? So I used 90.
I remember doing this one.
Okay. Oh yeah, so I did like 90 minus 14 days in like the numeric expression thing where you have to find the difference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you do that.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
And then you compare means for one sample difference. I found the p-value to be 0.096.
That's what I found too.
Awesome. Well, we can just bounce back between Marianne and I now, and you guys can ask questions as we go too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 16, I chose, let's see, what is the question talking about? Airline tickets. I chose C for no because it was 0.96. It was 0.96, so it was greater than the level of significance. Yep. Go look in the basket.
Okay, for 17, this is a real estate question. These always confuse me. But I said B, yes, the distribution of mean differences is normal because the data have been determined to be normal.
Yeah, I chose B as well.
I think it's kind of the same thing with the one where we talked about the sample size is large or the population is normal.
Yeah.
In this case, the sample size wasn't large enough.
Okay.
18.
18, I thought was pretty clear. It's C because you're doing a difference one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 19, I said B, 95% of all 95% confidence intervals actually contain the true mean. That's what we learned in the last test. I remember that it's like the...
It doesn't really make sense to me, but...
Yeah, I just know it's that one for whatever reason.
I don't know what, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no, I'll show you. Okay, 20.
For 20, I got 50.
Me too. I have all my math down for this one in case you guys want to hear Maddie and Nicole.
I did that.
I think I remember how to do that one.
This one confused me for a little bit, but
Is greater than equal to 10 NP, or N times 1 minus P is greater than equal to 10. And I just put 4/5 into P and solved for N. And then picked the bigger one because it had to be the bigger one.
Yep. Awesome. 21, I got B.
Let's see, 21. That was another one I wasn't sure of because I wasn't sure if it was B or D.
I don't have any signs that I had a question. Let's see.
I was confused or thrown off by their 0.233 and then
yeah, which one do you use? I remember that. I think I went with the 0.250 because that's the one that she's testing it with, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that's why I went with that one. But if it doesn't end up being that one, it would be D.
I remember something like this on the last test.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember what it was, so I searched everywhere to try to figure out where the problem was for batting averages, and I couldn't find the example.
Well, we run into so many, and then you get there, and it's like slightly different, so it doesn't actually help you.
Well, the batting averages that we did, the one that I have written down, is actually in lesson 5.
Okay. So it's not the same thing.
No, if that's the one that you're thinking of.
Okay. Let's see, Marianne? For which one are we on? 22.
22. For 22, I was also not sure. Let's see, let me take a look at it really fast. I wasn't sure, but I chose D.
That's what I did too. I think I was confused about if in C, because they say in the dog's testes. It's like, well, they only tested one dog, so that's technically the same sample. But I think
was thinking, well, I guess it wouldn't be A, and it's not B, so.
Well, I think it's D because it's only the ones they actually tested. It's not, they didn't necessarily test everything in that particular dog's testes.
Yeah.
Which is an awkward question.
Yeah. I
No,
think
good.
it's D.
Okay.
Okay. So 23.
Yeah. So I put 9. I got a probability of 9.820.
This one, I think I started getting really tired and I couldn't figure it out. I used the Excel thing with the one proportion.
That's the one sample Z test for proportions. That's what I did too.
I don't know how I did it, but I got 0.099.
Okay, let's see. We'll have to do this one then. So I found the Z-score when I conducted that test. And the Z-score I found was negative 1.292. And then I plugged that into the applet. And I highlighted the section under the first Z-score, but maybe I didn't highlight enough of the sections.
Let's see. What is the question asking?
So researchers published a study in which they considered the incidence among the elderly of various mental health conditions such as dementia, bipolar disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, delirium, and Alzheimer's disease. In the U.S., 45% of adults over 65 suffer from one or more of the conditions considered in the study. Calculate the probability that fewer than 320 out of the 750 adults over 65 in the survey suffer from one or more of the conditions under consideration.
Okay.
Give your answer accurately to 3 decimal places.
I entered 320 into the X in the Excel formula or Excel file, and 750 in, and did the less than one.
That makes sense too. I didn't actually use Excel on this one. I used SPSS, but I forgot proportions we basically use Excel on.
But I can't remember. I think I used 45% for something as well.
Okay, let's look at this. So X is 320. And I guess I was confused with this one because it was about probability. So I was like, well, we have to use the applet.
Mm-hmm.
But we still could find the Z-score, right? So N is 750.
Yeah.
And then the confidence, there's no confidence interval, so I guess we just keep.
No.
Is it less than?
Mm-hmm.
So if you do less than, then I get the Z-score negative 16.335.
So then we have to look at the null hypothesis, I think.
Where?
We have to fill in the null.
Oh, the null. I didn't see that.
So
Is 4.45.
that's what I thought, but I don't know.
I think that makes sense. 4.45.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes Z-score way more normal.
So I have negative 1.284 for that Z-score.
Yeah.
Now. So then we plug that in to the,
And then it gives you the p-value of 0.099.
okay, so for this, do we just highlight the first line?
Oh, less than. It'll be, you do all the way to the left. I have 0.996.
I got 0.900.
0.0. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I have 0.9004. You highlight the middle and the left?
It'd be fewer than, so I don't think so.
When we say fewer than, I'm always like, do I do that as fewer than the top line or fewer than the bottom line?
Yeah, I think it's fewer than whatever z-score you got. So if it's positive, you do the middle
That's
and the last.
also what I thought. Okay, so then it's 0.0996.
That's what I got.
So it's going to be 0.100 because we need to round it up, right?
I think so. I think it also depends on how many decimal points it says to use.
Wait, how do we round this again?
3 decimal places.
I know, but like, so the 6 rounds the 9 up to 0, which rounds the other 9 up to 0, so it's just 0.1?
0.100, yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you thought of
That
it.
is confusing.
It's like an inception of rounding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hurting my brain.
Yeah. Okay, that's a totally different answer I got, so it's good to erase that. Okay.
So for 24,
I got B.
got
I got C.
C is what I got.
Because it's the sigtail. It's you have to double 0.091 because it's a double-sided test.
Okay, that makes sense. So you multiply
Yeah.
by 2.
Yeah, I put down B at first, and then I was like, wait a second. Because I felt like it was too easy, so I was like, I must be overlooking.
Yeah. I usually think, oh, if it's easy, then I just know what I'm doing. Stop that.
I never trust myself with that. 25, I got F, but I really don't know about that one.
That's what I chose as well.
Really? Okay, that makes me feel better. I just said because I said any n will do because we already know the population is normal. Is that the actual answer or did I type that? I'm not sure.
That's what I chose as well because it says that it's normal.
Yeah. I thought that the other answers were like too specific. Like you wouldn't actually know that that was the exact sample size or less.
I think they're playing off of all the rules that we've learned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are.
All right, Marianne, 26.
Okay, 26, I chose D.
Yep.
For, because I plugged it into the categorical data file, Excel file, that showed that the women's sample wasn't greater than 10.
I just put it into the requirements. I didn't go as far as Excel, but I got like 56 times 1 minus 0.84 equals 8.96. Yeah, which doesn't work.
I just don't like having to calculate. So if I
didn't know you could do that in Excel. Let me look.
Well, it's the two proportions sample test.
So if you do that, and then what are you looking at that tells you if it says
the
requirements or not? Check requirements. I didn't know that was there.
Yeah.
That makes it so easy.
Man. Okay, like proportions is like the hardest thing for me. I did fine on the test. Actually did better on the test. I still don't understand that, but I think I forgot it way faster.
Yeah.
And now proportions like really was hard for me. I should have just used Excel more. 27, I got B.
I got B as well.
Yeah, they're always equal or not equal to 0, and it has to be the B of the difference, the mean of the difference. Oh wait, it's not that it's always equal to 0. That's just what they're asking. That's a different question. Yeah. They just want to know if there's a difference.
28, I got B as well.
Yep.
I had to look at this for a long time, but I think it's B.
I think it's B, and I put here because I think the keyword here is predicted.
Yeah.
You know that it's that one. Because there's like a definition for residuals. Is this one about residuals? Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the definition of residuals, it used the word predicted. So I was like, I think it's.
So I was wondering if it was negative 5.5, does that mean that his weight loss would be lower than the predicted weight loss? Or is it supposed to always
Honestly, the question confused me. I didn't even think that far. I just looked for like
the residual, what do you call it? The graph thing has like positive and negative. So residuals kind of confuse me.
I just have like the residual is the difference
What's
between
the
the
matter?
observed value of y and the value that would have been predicted by the regression line.
Uh-huh.
So I don't think we're going as far as like negative versus positive. We're just
Come here, bud.
it's the one that would have been predicted.
Yeah. Okay.
By a regression line in general.
Okay.
So 29, I put C.
That's what I put as well.
And I had to remind myself what B1 was the slope. I get B0 and B1 confused. Beta. Hey. Maddie, did you still answer some of these? I noticed you chimed in on a couple.
No, I've just been reading through them, see if I can figure them out while you're going.
Okay. Well, then Marianne, do you want to do 30?
Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure about this one. I chose D.
Let's check all that applies. So I put 3 answers.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that.
I was like, shoot, either I was really unsure of myself. I didn't know which one to pick.
Let's see.
I think it's the 3 that we can't, and you don't select the 2 that you can't test.
So is it B and B and E?
B, D, and E. Is that what you said?
Isn't D one of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's B, D, and E.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause you can't do A or C.
All right. For 31, I got R equals 0.780.
That's what I got as well.
Okay.
That was just going in and doing it and doing the coefficient
And
stuff, right?
Yeah, the bivariate, correlate stuff.
Yeah.
Reverse that them. Okay. Do you want to do 32?
32, let's see. This one, I put D because it was kind of like a megaphone shape, but I don't know.
I thought mine was just like a kind of chubby hot dog, but there was like a outlier if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So I put B. I didn't really think it was a strong positive association.
Yeah, that's
but it
what
wasn't negative, and I didn't think it was nonlinear, but I didn't think of looking for a megaphone.
mine had a lot. Maybe I didn't put it in right, but it seemed like it had a lot at the bottom, and then it just kind of spread out the top. It's just move.
If I'm picturing it right, I should have like copied and pasted it into here, but I didn't think I could in this format. But mine was just like kind of thinned out, and then there's like a random outlier down here, which could be a megaphone, but it was only one outlier.
So let's see what.
It had more at the bottom, and then it's kind of thinned out at the top, but it still went in a line.
This is the flight one. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Would you happen to have yours saved?
I have mine open. Well,
So
not the. how do I, let's see.
We could just, put one answer and then try the other answer and see who's right.
So if I was going to do a scatter plot for these two variables, I go in and graphs, legacy, scatter plot, and then I enter in 14 is the dependent, right? And 90 is the independent.
Yes.
And let's see what happens.
Make sure you have the right R again.
See, waiting for it to pop up. Is it gonna pop up?
So
There it
it's
is.
down point.
So let me show you what I see.
Okay.
This is what I got. Is that what yours look like?
Yeah, it was kind of like that, and I can see how that's a megaphone.
But now that I look at it and my head isn't hurting quite as bad, it does look linear. So
It's mostly linear.
Yeah.
But that one outlier, they said the outliers matter, so that's what kind of confuses me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's try doing a fairly strong positive association, and if that doesn't work, we can do D as a second answer.
Yeah.
Okay. 33. I got y equals 115.640 plus 0.627x.
Yes, that's what I got too.
Awesome. Okay, you want to do 34?
Yeah. For I got, it says around one decimal place, and so I got 241.0.
Yep. I just didn't round to one decimal place. Okay. Let's see. 35. I got lower bound as 0.518 and upper bound as 0.735.
Oh, let's see, what did I do here? I don't even know what I put here.
You don't have your answer, or do you have a different answer than me?
I only have one answer. I don't know why I did this. I put 0.627. Is that like?
Did you do the margin of error?
I don't know. Let's see. This is still the flight one, right? So maybe I can.
Yeah.
Just.
I just did a regression dash, then went to linear, and then I selected the confidence intervals box.
Okay. So let me just go do that since I have it open. So regression, linear, and 14 is the dependent, right? And the 90 is the independent.
Yep.
And then I select confidence interval, right?
Mm-hmm. And it should be at 95, which is what it said already.
And so I don't know why I put what I put. So we use the bottom part, right?
Yeah, the bottom line. I think under coefficients.
It says 0.518, 0.735.
Yep, that's what I have.
Okay.
You can blame your headache.
Yeah, it really is a pain to have a headache for days and days.
Especially with math. I mean, math gives headaches on its own. If you already have one, it's like...
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're getting close. For 36, I put B.
Okay, 36.
This is the one where B1 is always going to equal 0 as a null, and its alternative is always not equal to 0.
But I think that we're doing the regression stuff, right? So it would be actually D.
I thought that the rules with regression is that it always is equal to 0 and then not equal to 0.
Did you say B?
Yeah, I said B.
Because I think we're supposed to use the symbol beta, not just B1.
Yeah. This is
Oh,
for a hypothesis test. It'll be the capital B.
beta. Really, that's so tricky. Okay.
So when do you use lowercase beta? Do we
Have you
ever?
ever noticed a difference with that?
I don't know. I
It
think,
doesn't look like we do.
yeah, I don't think we do.
That's confusing.
Yeah, I never noticed that. My eyes never picked up that there was a size difference in the beads.
Yeah, it looks like for hypothesis tests for regression, any kind of regression would just be capital. Okay.
Okay. So 37. We need to do.
1 second.
Okay.
Okay, 37. Got it.
We need to do the test statistic and the p-value. And I got 11.509 for the t, and p is 0.000.
Yep. Got that too. Okay, for 38, I got C, reject the null. There is sufficient evidence to suggest that one.
That's what I chose.
Okay, 39.
Okay, this is where it gets tricky. These are the ones I
I
did
actually
terribly
think I did okay on this, except for one of them.
I might be totally off. For 39, I chose B.
Me too.
Oh, good.
40, I chose A.
That's what I chose too.
And then I was confused because 41 I also thought was B, and I was like, there's only 5 questions, there's like 9 options, but I felt like
41, let's see. I chose F because
what's the percentage? Does that deal with proportions instead?
I don't know.
Why? I think that makes sense.
So I don't know. I think it just
Yeah, what does everyone else think?
let's see. Well, Courtney left. Not Courtney. Nicole.
Yeah.
Let's know what the percentage of Walmart employees in Nevada. 45. 130%. It'd probably be the one test, one proportion.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking just because I was talking about like percentages, maybe.
Yeah, I think it'd be the
Population.
Okay.
one proportion.
That makes me feel better because I was a little like, why would it be this one again?
Yeah.
Sometimes they do that.
Yeah.
42, I put 2 answers. I wasn't sure. I thought it was either oh, just kidding. I only put 1 answer. Test of 2 proportions.
I chose H because you have the 2 categories, communicative and non-communicative, and then you also have other categories within that, whether they were separated or divorced.
Yeah.
Chi squared. Okay. That's H?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 43, I chose I.
Me too. That one was
That's what I put.
only one option. Okay, let's attempt the test.
Okay.
Good thing we have backups. Something doesn't work. Oh, Nicole said 11 minutes ago that I dropped her and won't let her rejoin.
Oh.
So is it okay if I like start a new link so she can be here for the test?
Yeah.
Hopefully she sees this. It was like 10 minutes ago. So
I'll see if she's on the chat still.
anyways, I'm going to exit out of this and start creating a new link. And either way, we can all join in that. And hopefully
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.